Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why my stream deck is not working. Oh my god. Let me open it and make sure it's functional. Oh, now it turns on. You fucking piece of shit. Okay, cool. That works. What is up, everyone? It is America. Well, we're right around the corner from America's 250th birthday. Guys, I gotta stop staring into the void, man. It's making me a hateful person. Like, I spend a lot of time on X, and I'm adding to the debauchery and shit. What is that now? But yeah, Spanky 4200, thank you so much. I appreciate that. How's the fishing been? I haven't been. This week I have been so just stacked. But I am going golfing tomorrow with my brother-in-law, hopefully. This week has been nothing but phone calls and handle this, take care of that, sign this, do that. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired. I'm fucking tired. But everything's, it's going good. Golfing. I know. Well, this is the thing. I'm down here in New Mexico, and it's kind of far to get to water to go fishing. So my brother-in-law golfs all the time. And when my wife was out of town for like a week, I was like bored out of my mind because I don't really have any friends here. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to pick up golf. And realistically, I'm shit at golf. I'm awful at it. However, I really enjoy driving the cart shit-faced. So that's what I'm going with. I would love to see a spin-off of HLC 1941. That would be HLC's State of Mind over on Pepperbox. It's not 1941, but it is all stuff through history, and I can go a little bit more unhinged there. Which Cold War British tank radiated the most aura? Off the top of my head, I can't even think of Cold War British. The Charlie 1 was tail end of Cold War, wasn't it? Because they're on the Charlie 2 now? I'm not very good at British tanks. I'm so sorry, my man. Not a fan of Pasture Pool. Word has it Iran's attacking again. Any news? I don't know. I haven't even really looked. I just saw, obviously what's going on in the UK is fucking wild. I don't want to, I would never encourage the riots, but this is the thing. When you are in charge of a country or a people, right? And this can go all the way down to lower level management, right? Let's say when I was a team leader, a sergeant, if something happened to one of my soldiers, my ass was in the fucking ringer because I needed to know what happened, why it happened, who was there. I needed to know all the details. And I feel like the government should have that same kind of responsibility to its people. And what's going on in the UK is wild. It's just nuts. And I just saw another one. I don't know how long ago it was. It was on Twitter. 17-year-old girl walking down the street got stabbed. Random act of violence. And this is the thing. I don't know if the guy was an immigrant, right? Could just be a criminal. But when the criminals don't fear the justice that they will face, they're more inclined to continue to reoffend. And these could be mental issues, all sorts of things. I think asylums really need to make a comeback because there's people who are dangerous, but they haven't committed a crime yet. So instead of waiting for them to commit a crime and then incarcerating them without them getting the help they need, an asylum is probably a good way to go. Cheers to jets flying over us here right outside the DC area. Love you long and love all you do. Rock on, rock on. Will Davidson? Sorry, dyslexic. Russia's mom.
Is she around? I didn't know it was that time already. Shit. All right, well, time to break out my fuel line. Or
I didn't think that went all the way through. My bad. Reckless Ben still hiding. I don't know all the details on that. Last I heard, and I hadn't even heard of this guy before this whole thing happened, but last I heard he's being sued and there's a gag order. He can't even say the name of said business. So I don't know. Going to be in Boston next week for World Cup. We'll go see the USS Constitution. Any other recommendations for war history museums? A love from a Scott. Dude, Boston is probably one of the most historically vibrant cities on the East Coast. There's so much there. There is there's so much going on, man. I highly encourage you, honestly, just ask around. Hey, I'm here checking out, I'm here for the World Cup, but I want to see some history. Bostonians will point you in the right direction. I promise you. But there's a ton of stuff. PP or poo poo? PP. Yeah. Screwworms have returned to the US. Yeah. Which I was actually, I had not really a meeting. I was just hanging out with Brandon Herrera recently, and I hadn't even heard of the screwworm situation, but he's like, yeah, the first 2 confirmed cases in the United States were in my district. I need to get ahead of this shit now. And that, all politics aside, because Brandon and I don't agree on everything, right? And that's perfectly fine. He's still my friend. I don't know if you guys know this. There are people in this world that you can disagree with. Animarchy and I, we don't agree on everything, but I still consider Animarchy a friend. So, and we can have reasonable disagreements over different things. But Brandon, going up, and he's not even a congressman yet, but he's still, I can't think of a better word than possessive. Like, this is my district. These are my people. These are my constituents. I need to watch out for them. And it was a breath of fresh air, because there's zero to gain from Brandon attacking this problem head on, right? There's nothing. There's no money in it. There's no nothing else in it. And he still is like, this needs to be fixed now, because it's going to affect livestock. It's going to affect people's lives. It's going to affect fucking everything. And it is just a really, it's a really good thing to see our representatives doing things like that. Oh, damn it. It did that thing again. Hey, HLC, have a chance I might be working with Veteran with a Sign. Really, Zach is, without any reasonable doubt, probably one of the most genuine humans in the world. I don't think Zach is capable of lying to anyone. He says the hard truth 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I love him for it. Honestly, like, he is my litmus test. If someone shows up as part of like the group, like Unsub, Man versus Morning, like all the Pepperbox crew, if someone shows up, I'm terrible at judging character. I'm fucking awful at it, right? Normally it's my wife that like, hey, let's not hang around that one. That guy's just giving me a weird feeling. When she's not around, Zach is he can see through someone's bullshit like that. He is so good at that. So hey Zach, what do you think of this one? I don't like him because of this, this, and this. Just wait. And like 6 months later, that person gets outed as a piece of shit. It's 10 out of 10. Veteran with a Sign is one of the greatest people I have ever met, man. Honestly, such a good dude. We're back in the streets, down with the black and tan, Ireland for the Irish, Poland for the Poles, even France for the French, and the Catholics and the Protestants have united. 12 volt. I don't want to encourage the rioting, but something has to change. And again, I'm an American. I am outside of this. So like, what do I know about these circumstances, right? Because a lot of Americans get really upset when people from like Europe and Asia and Africa like talk about how we do things and they've never experienced it. So I try and tread a little bit lightly, and I usually see what the local population is saying to try and understand. And I don't always get it right. But it seems like the people of the United Kingdom and the Irish are kind of fed up. But they don't want their city to burn. So like that's the paradigm there, right? Like, no one wants their city to burn, but they want shit to stop. They want to feel safe. And I think that that's ultimately the government's responsibility, is making people feel safe, which is wild because I worked for the government for 16 years. But yeah. Your mom says this isn't new for Ireland. Well, they did have these guys called the IRA once upon a time. And really, depending on who you talk to over in that part of the world, they were good guys or they were bad guys. Beans on Toast thought they were bad guys. The Irish, most of them were just like, yeah, I know who they are. I ain't no fucking snitch. And they just kind of like went on about their merry way. Atomic Museum in Albuquerque has Dragon Lady. They got a U2 up there? That's fucking cool. I will reach out. I don't know when our next Habitually Fat will be. I'm trying to convince Nick to go to Oshkosh, but I'm going to be there. So at the very least, that's going to be a video that I make. Erin Go Brock? I don't know how to pronounce that. Space Detergent. I'm so sorry. They call him Ethan. Oh God, Rondo. How you doing, buddy? Call him Ethan Long because, psych, I don't got one this week, but reminder to you that you need to hit the gym before you go nuclear explosion. I'm hitting the gym. Literally, like when I go and get my peptides and shit like that, they're like, you don't even look like the same fucking person. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. The only thing that I will say that I'm not a fan of is my biceps are not growing as fast as I would hope. And that's partially because this tennis elbow, I can't do neutral grip and I can't do reverse grip. So I did get lifting straps that'll kind of help out with my grip, so I don't got to do that as much. And so far, improvements have happened. So we'll see. Man, I got way behind. You're going on a habitual trip tomorrow to Cali. Is it a habit or are you making it a reference to me? Habitual large carbs. I'm trying here, guys. USS Chicago shot Fort Denison in Sydney Harbor. Has Anamarchy covered it? I don't know. I'm not entirely familiar with everything that Anamarchy has covered. I've been featured on a couple of his episodes. Great guy, honestly. I have no issue with him. Again, we have our own reasonable disagreements about certain things. We're both very, and there's no mistake that I genuinely think Ukraine has the right to defend themselves, but he and I have a differing opinion on Israel and Palestine, right? We have a differing opinion there, and I understand and I recognize that a lot of my bias might come from having fought an insurgency in the Middle East before. So I look at things through a completely different lens than he does, which is fine, which is okay. Has your Mystism brought you across the Wolfpack Missile Group yet? Saw them drop by my article feed the other day. The Wolfpack Missile. No, but I like it. It means Ireland forever. Okay. No, he's right and you're wrong. Whoa, Wolfram. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you here. Habitual size of Tacoma Dome. I'm not that fat. Actually, my contractor saw me tonight and he's like, I'm just trying to get fucking ripped like you. And I was like, bro, I'd maybe rip my pants. Although and this is the thing. I know you guys are lying. You're just fucking with me a little bit. I mean, granted, you only see me through a camera, which is fine. But all of my pants have gotten looser. Okay. So fuck you. Your biceps are pretty good. I'd recommend a higher protein diet if possible. Take small amounts of creatine and BCAAs. I am on a little bit of creatine. I'm on a good amount of protein. There's a meal prep place I go to. Then you guys can. I'm gonna get so much shit for this. But this guy makes these protein balls and they're fucking delicious. They're only 100 calories a piece. They got like fucking 20 grams of protein in it, and they taste like fucking Reese's. They're delicious. They're so good. So I've been going for those. What is my take on the Pricks and Mini Dicks saga and the corrupt American Fork Police Department? So we just recorded last night a kind of consensual, and we talked about that in depth. And I didn't know. So when I did my research, I was going with like verified news sources, and a lot of people are like, well, this YouTuber covered it. I try and go outside of their scope, right? And it's nothing against YouTubers, right? Like I'm one myself. But I try and see what everyone's saying and like try and piece together what I actually think is going on. I go to conservative media, liberal media, various. And I didn't know about the cop thing. So I was explaining the whole situation to Rich, and Eli's was like, well, then there's the police thing. And he kind of broke that down, and I had no idea about that. So if the police are operating based on assumptions and doing no-knock warrants on assumptions, that is a scary fucking situation. Because who polices the police? And I tell you right now, every good cop I've ever met, like Rich, my brother, every good cop I've ever met. It's funny, I have a brother who's a cop and a brother who's a felon. Christmas is interesting. Anyways, and all good cops fucking, like, worse than criminals, they hate bad cops. They hate crooked cops. They because it just makes them all look bad. And that's something that is specific to military and police. It's really weird. So like if I do something stupid when I was in the army, that makes the whole army look bad. but it doesn't happen outside of like government offices, like police, fire, military, things like that. Like you wouldn't have a bad experience at McDonald's and be like, all of McDonald's is fucked. All of them are terrible people. It's really just so it's kind of a weird one-off thing. But I don't have a full take on it. I based off of what Eli said, I would say the situation is incredibly scary. Come out, you black and tans, come out and face me like a man. Tell your goats how you fought our young women. Tell your God, hope and pray you avoid the IRA and the anger of the awoken Irish. One of my close friends, Show, you guys may have seen Show before. She's Irish. She works on Unsub, and she just, I mean, her and her husband are just awesome people, Dave. And so I'll be seeing them here shortly in a couple weeks, and I really want to see what Show says. I'm genuinely curious because I want to see behind the curtain. You know, it's always the loudest minority that is making all the noise that goes outside of our borders and everyone hears. So kind of want to see what the Irish actually think. Oh shit, Raven is in here. How you doing, Raven? Good to see you. The kid will be in Geneseo, New York, July 11th and 12th. I will be at the end of July. I plan on going to Oshkosh in Wisconsin. I don't know how long I'm going to be there. I don't know what days exactly yet. I'm still trying to iron out some details and get things scheduled. But I will be there, at least for a couple days. I want to check it all out. Have to cut back so much on drinking over the last few months. Didn't quit during the fitness challenge for Unsubscribe. I wanted to, but I was also able to buy myself a $60 Baitcaster pole and a 240 Baitcaster reel. Hell yes. This is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. If you teach your children to like computers, guns, cars, fishing, maybe golf. I'm kind of new to that one. Off-roading. Like there's a whole bunch of really healthy activities. They'll never have money for drugs or alcohol. They're going to be broke all the time. I have too many hobbies. I like computers. I've built computers. I like guns. I like kayak fishing. I have some debt. Yeah. If you streamed your gaming sessions, it might look like South Park WoW episode. Oh, I'd have to be bald well, I am bald, but I'd have to like lose my hat. I don't do that because you'll see, watch the color. Oh, normally the color shifts when my bald head comes out. Don't forget motorcycles. Yeah, motorcycles is another one. Well, it depends on the motorcycle. Japanese bikes, they tend to not break down as often, but they do lay them down pretty often. So it really depends on what you do with it. Harleys, yeah, they're never going to have money for drugs or alcohol. The thing is always going to be in the shop. That's just where they live. I'm sorry. Like my brother lives and dies by his fucking Harley. And when I had my motorcycle, his Harley was in the shop constantly. Mine never went into the fucking shop. It just ran perfectly fine. That's exactly what I needed it to do. See, Harley Davidson does this thing where every other internal combustion engine in the world has this cycle, has this sequence, right? You've heard of 4-cycle, right? A 4-cycle engine. Well, to make it simple, the cycles of an engine is suck, squeeze, bang, blow. That may sound like a kind of a raunchy porno, but trust me, it's not, right? It sucks in air, it squeezes it, pressurizes, gets you compression, and then, well, it sucks in air and fuel, right? Mixes it in the cylinder. And then spark plug sparks, bang, opens. And then on the next stroke up, the exhaust valves open. And as that piston comes back up, because the other one is firing, boom, it blows it all out the exhaust. Suck, squeeze, bang, blow. Harley went, everyone else is wrong. We're going to do this. We're going to do suck, squeeze, blow, bang. They fire with the exhaust valves open. I have no idea how the engines run, okay? Harleys are just fucking weird. They're scientifically impractical, okay? Which is why half of them have this giant metal plate between the engine and transmission because they vibrate so much, which is also why every time you fire up a Harley, it sounds like it has a fucking lung issue right before it fires. It does like a, because that's it going into its firing cycle with the exhaust valves open, right? 2 strokes, banded blow. Sister line crosser good this week? Yeah. I haven't talked to her, but yeah, she's been good, healing up. Looks like he ate Grandpa Buff for dinner. Like, you motherfucker, Rondo. I'm a little behind. Be careful. Modern bodybuilding and health influences has turned into a legitimate death cult. Look, oh yeah, dude. Is that the guy that had like a fucking heart attack at like age 19 or something because he's throwing so much HGH? I'm not trying to bodybuild. Look, guys, you need to understand something about me. Okay. I'm 6'2", 250 pounds. And I'm glad I am because I'm a bitch. Okay. I can't, I can grapple, but I just throw my weight around. I can't box to save my life. How do I know this? Combatives level 1. I got my shit rocked by this kid named Campbell. Okay. Closing the distance. I don't know how to protect my face. I'm not very good at it. Right. So I'm glad I'm big. I just want to be one of those guys who's big enough to be like, hey man, leave that guy alone. Little do they know, I'm a bitch. Right. That's what I want. Can't argue with that lung thing though. See, you know I'm right. Got flagged once in a TS clearance interview for some relative in Ireland that was IRA. Holy shit. And see, they never did a TS on me. One of my friends did a TS, and they came and talked to me about him. And I was like, oh yeah. And this is when I kind of started making, videos and stuff. I was still in the military. And he's like, yeah, by the way, your videos are pretty funny. I was like, there's a man doing a top secret clearance investigation, and he has seen my stupid ass internet videos. This is great. I co-signed the big thing. See? I need a hug. The surgery I've been waiting on for years has been delayed again. Not life-threatening, but I'm also tired of the pain and congestion. I'm so sorry to hear that, Scott. I got you. Digital hug. That may not have looked like a hug, but it was there. I felt it in my soul. I don't know if you felt it. Oh dear.
Would you
Matavo?
I'd intercept me.
Great seeing you tonight. Hope you are good. I bet Franklin is going to want nuggets, so enjoy the donation buff. Have fun with Russia's mother while you unload all you can. Can't wait for Kid to get his intercept.
I hope. I'm so much hoping the kid gets... Again, my biggest fear is that when it happens, the video I deliver won't be what people were hoping for, and it's not as good. So I've put a lot of thought. Like, every time I make a video, I usually think about like, well, what do I do when the kid? And I've thought about going a bunch of different ways with it, but I think I'm dialed in now, kind of what I want to do. So it should be good. In Russia's voice, clap back to buff. Words are hard. My mother was USSR. The first two letters are US. Are you from what is called Alabama?
Listen, we're just keeping it in the family here, there, buddy. Don't you worry about a thing. You're going to have a brother Russia here soon.
Oh, man. To clarify, I had no idea I was even related to this person. Bro, that's wild. What's up, Captain Wreck? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you again. Today, Elon became the first trillionaire. Yes. And dude, oh my God. Here's the thing. Okay, you guys got to understand. I'm not defending billionaires and or trillionaires now, right? I'm not defending them. But you have to understand, net worth does not mean he has $1 trillion in his bank account. That means that the companies he owns, along with all the assets, physical assets, cars, houses, whatever, equates to $1 trillion. Now, there are some people in Washington who have a smoking body but are dumb as shit. You know who I'm talking about. And want to tax people based off of their net worth. Do you know what that would do to Tesla, SpaceX, and all the other companies that Elon owns? Okay, because then he would have to take all those stocks and shares and everything that he owns of those companies, sell them in order to cover the bill from the federal government, which would make those stocks tank, and now they're worth a lot less. People would end up getting laid off. All these things would trickle down. You want to fix taxing billionaires? There's a real simple way to fix it. And for some reason, no one in the government wants to do it, right? We're going to tax 10% of your net income up to $150,000. Anything top side of that, you pay 15, 20%. No loopholes, no write-offs, no fucking bullshit. 1-page tax code. That's all you need. That would fix all of this. Guess what? Taxes would be flooding in. Because billionaires and now trillionaires, they stay that rich because they understand the tax code. If I have, let's say I have $100 million worth of stocks, right? Just shoot in the dark. $100 million worth of stocks. My net worth is over $100 million. I could have $0 in my bank account and my net worth is over $100 million. And guess what? Until I sell those stocks, those aren't realized gains. Therefore, they cannot be taxed by the federal government. Doesn't matter how much money I made that year. That's the way I look at it. Now, then your income gets, it's a fucking weird slippery slope. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't make, if you ever read the tax code, it is intentionally written shitty. It's like, hey, we're going to find the one guy who like fucking mouth breathes all day and he is going to do this. But I developed a device branded to your theme. Your mods have a ticket in Discord with images and video of it. Hope you like it. Let me know. Will do. Weapons has been sending me stuff all week. Weapons, if you're in here, yeah, you're in here. Bro, I am so sorry. You've been sending me messages and stuff. This week I'm tired, boss. I'm very tired. I'm very, very tired. Short stuff. You and Jack should do Aussie tour. I would actually love to go to Australia in my lifetime. I would love that. I would adore that. Downside is Australia and the UK are not very cool with like the jazz cabbage, the electric lettuce, the devil's lettuce, that stuff. That's the only downside. But other than that, lots of history in those places. And I really do like history. I lost my younger only brother on Monday to those stupid crotch rockets. The loss is very hard. Thanks for making it a little easier. Alex, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm genuinely sorry to hear that. My dad has crashed his bike and gotten a DUI because they love booze cruising. My brother, my little sister's was by far the closest one that any of them came to death. My brother Eli did put down a crotch rocket doing like $120 one time. Survived somehow. But I'm sorry to hear that, man. I genuinely, my heart goes out to you, dude. That's the thing, man. Just, if you're going to ride bikes, just be fucking safe. Like that's literally all anyone wants is just be safe, man. Because then you have people like, Alex out here who are like, hey man, you know, someone cares about you in this world. I promise you, someone cares about you. And if you don't think anyone cares about you, I fucking do. Okay. Just be safe. I want you to go and enjoy life. I want you to experience life. Like I would never tell anyone to not experience anything because it's too scary. I want you to do it. Just be safe. Have as many experiences in this life as you possibly can, but just be safe doing it. My truck got sold without me knowing. Now the guy in Mass that owns it wants too much for it. Ugh. How did it get sold without you knowing? I mean, I'm not talking shit, but like, did someone forge your name on the title? Neither here nor there, man. That sucks. It's like a bad country song. 250 pounds is 113.4 kilos. Yes. And I can bench press more than my weight. I bench pressed 275 the other day. Sucked. Wasn't pretty. Did it. I want to get to 315. That's my goal. 315. Why didn't Lego Bruce Wayne just rebuild parents? What is wrong with you? Did you get held too much as a baby or not enough? You son of a bitch. God damn it, man. No. I enjoy your content. I resubscribe for you. Well, thank you so much for being here, my dude. Reese. I'm 6'1", 210. You're 6'2", 250. Jesus. Don't you judge me. Don't you judge me. You know, the only people who call me fat when they see me in person are my friends. Everyone else is just like, it's an average build guy. Like, no one else gives a shit. The only people who call me fat are Nick, Rich, Eli. Cody's never called me fat. I don't think Brandon's ever called me fat. Those are my nice friends. Zach. Has Zach ever called me fat? I don't think so. It's how they get their ironic sound, which trademarked, and the paperwork says potato, potato, potato is the sound. Wait, what? What are we talking about? The iconic sound? I'm trying to follow that one. John Elliott. It's not Joan. Did I tell you guys I'm dyslexic? I mean, I probably am. I've never been like diagnosed, but it's there. You guys want to feel real, what's the word I'm looking for? Insecure about how close you are to the autism spectrum or how far you are on it? Watch Love on the Spectrum. Honestly, it's a great show. It's a phenomenal show. 10 out of 10. I encourage you to watch it. But then you watch it, and most of the time it's like, oh, this is cute, or hey, that was pretty funny the way they said that. And then every once in a while you watch it and you're like, maybe I am autistic. Shit. Oh, yes. The Harley sound. Yes. Yes, Harley patented their sound. They actually sued Honda in the 90s because the Honda Shadow sounded too much like a Harley. I had one of those Honda Shadows. I had a 99 Shadow Aero. It was a gutless wonder, but God, it sounded good. Hey, man, love your channel and the characters. Hope this $5. Hey, you don't have to donate, guys. The only thing I'll ever ask is to watch my stuff, but every donation does help, and it goes towards, I want to say a good cause, but that would also be disingenuous. It goes towards a racist 70-year-old plane. And I call a spade a spade. But no, stay healthy and safe in this crazy world. Thank you so much, Steampunk Raven. This one's for the dog treats again, taking some E6 guys out with me next week to the sandbox. 74 Alpha out. Ooh, have fun, Chemical. What are you doing out there in the sandbox as Chemical? 256 kits? You're popping 256 kits. That's what you're going to do. Finding someone else who agrees. Banging body, but brain dead in Congress. We know who we're talking about. We know. You know, and I know. I don't know how many other people know. AOC. And I genuinely don't think the woman, I don't know, the people in that part of the world are pretty fucking smooth brain. I feel like if you say something and you're a politician and it is just incredibly dumb, your people should be able to just be like, yeah, that one's gone. Bye. You're too dumb to be there. I feel like that should be a thing. But then again, we'd never get anything done because everyone would just get swapped out. Because the only people who are willing to stand up and like, I want to run is people who are almost always full of themselves. AOC is ugly? Pfft. What are you talking about? Nancy?
Yeah, Pelosi wasn't half bad. You can call me the Pelosi plow.
Okay. Someone's going to clip that. Boebert. Yeah. What's her name? Boebert. Yeah. Lorena? World War 11. No, that one's not attractive at all. That one's just dumb. And it's personal preference. Attractiveness is really subjective. Hold on 1 second. All right, sorry. More phone calls. Elon should capture an asteroid in Earth orbit and become a quadrillionaire owning a space mining industry, then build an O'Neill cylinder. What is an O'Neill cylinder? I learn something new every single time. My favorite aircraft, the F-4U Corsair. Unless we're talking like jet versus prop. If we're going jet, it's kind of a toss-up between the F-14 and the F-22. I don't know. The Su-34 is not bad. I know that's like the worst thing in the world. Where's Knox? I don't know. He should have had dinner already. Mrs. Linecrosser, if you're watching, send my son in. Canada, would love to chat if you've ever heard up or head up this way. Weed's legal to buy too, so don't worry about packing or international law issues. That's what I'm talking about, Captain Wrecked. If I went up to Canada, I would purposely ignore any messages from Wolfram so that I don't have to see him. Like I would go out of my way to end up in the same area he is and then just never speak to him. Just because I'm trying to get inside his head. I'm going to get inside his head. Safari Squad, thank you so much. Hopefully you can get the message out for me. Belfast is Northern Ireland, not Ireland. It's still part of the UK. Yes. Too many of you Americans don't know geography. Love you, but it's annoying as fuck. Did you watch my video today? I made sure that people understood it was clear that part of Northern Ireland in Belfast that's part of the United Kingdom. They're ethnically Irish, but hi, my big boy. What's up, my dude? Come here. You have Cash Patel eyes. Stop it. You're wigging out. Oh gosh. It's early. Get your nose out of there. You want to go to your bed? Oh my God. And there's Fritz. Here, you're going to catch too. Didn't catch. Knox gets 2 for size difference. Knox, go to your bed. Good boy. Go on. Bed. Good boy. Fritz looks like an evil scientist. He didn't like the allegations. Fritz is, dude, he's such a funny guy. Britain has the only working tiger in the world. It's at Bovington. We'd be happy to have you visit our wet little island. Also, you're a canard. Oi, bruv, canards are not gay. Whatever you say, Fruit Loop. Again, this is your month. They're going to start putting canards on the Chally too. You guys are going to have canards on your air defense missiles. Going to have canards on your prime minister. I don't know. And Knox just ran out. I don't know where he's going. Why does Franklin look big on you? They're all the same size. This is just the test one. They sent this one out. This was their test model. I think the kid is a big giveaway. Maybe. Oh, man. Bro, I thought you were talking about Bernie? No. We must stop millionaires. Hey, Bernie, you know you're a millionaire now? We must stop billionaires. It's crazy. It's always, for thee, not for me. Oh, better make it 10 in that case. Wile E. Coyote. For all the great content, why does no one make a small electric truck like a 90s Tacoma size? Honestly, I think I would be kind of bitching. Having now owned an EV myself, there is some good, but there's also some drawbacks. I do love the sound of my old internal combustion engine, but that instant torque is just pretty fucking cool. Bro, I thought you were talking about... Oh, God. Yeah, we just got to the Bernie one. O'Neill cylinder is a design for a space habitat. Is that like humans perpetually living in space and using centrifugal force? Is that... Doesn't centrifugal force, not work in space? Didn't they debunk that if you jumped, it wouldn't work? You had to, stay planted on the ground? I don't know. That's physics. That's a Neil deGrasse Tyson question, maybe. is one of the class of orbital superstructure. Think halo ring, but cylinder form to increase its surface area and enclosed. Oh. So you could potentially plant trees in there. You would just need a UV source. Bernie, oh yeah, no, he famously got thrown out of a communist hippie commune for being too lazy. Yeah. Here's the thing, guys. Is capitalism a great system? No. But it's better than every other system humanity's ever come up with. Okay? I'm just, Nick is going to kill me for that one. Communism, if you remove the human factor, it's great. It's phenomenal. Unfortunately, what happens in communism is the people control the means of production, which when you say the people, you mean the government. The people in charge control. So you know what happens? The shitty people work for the government and then they get in charge and then it's all their shit and they end up being a dictator. If people didn't suck like that, it'd be great. But people suck like that. It's just, Prescription for cannabis in Australia? Really? Oh my God. You know what? We're going to do it live. Fuck it. Oh, no. You're not getting away that easy, Mrs. Line Crosser. She called me and then hung up. Hello? Hello, you're live with HLC on his live stream.
No, don't do that.
Nope, too bad. You called me while I'm live. What's up?
Okay. No. That's a bad idea. I'm having a... we'll discuss this later.
You're having a what? No. You thought it was important enough to call me. Come on.
No, it was.
What was it?
Something.
What is it?
We'll talk about it later. You know why.
Okay. Love you.
Oh, love you, why.
Bye. She is on fucking Jupiter right now, guys, just in case you were wondering. Rip a good one, Knox. No, Knox is still here. He's not. Don't do that to me. Dude, I'm going to be inconsolable for probably a month. When I lose that dude. Like that is my best friend in the whole world. That is my best buddy. Let's take a moment to thank Lady Line Crosser for her contribution to HLC's channel. We appreciate you, and I bet this C5 Galaxy body does too. Bet. She makes most of my thumbnails, so if you guys don't like the thumbnails, you should probably let her know. She makes most of them. Not all of them. Most of them. Need music for your streams and videos? DM me, ping me in the server. I'll get something going pretty quickly. This offer does not expire. I appreciate it. Right now I'm using, I like all my sound effects and audio is from, Epidemic Sound. It's like $15 a month and they have just tons of shit. It's just easier that way. I tried an F-150 electric. BYD tried, I think. BYD. Hold on. I don't know what BYD stands for. Can anyone? Oh, no. He meant like rip a fart. No, his tummy's good tonight. That's my best buddy in the whole wide world. Build your dreams. Oh. Bring your drink? Chinese car company? Oh, it's a Chinese car brand. I've never heard of BYD. I'm going to just leave that right there because it keeps on going off. No cost to you. Forgot to add that to the last one. I'm not looking at this moment, but I wouldn't be opposed to in the future. Communism only works in small groups like tribes, families, or friends group. Yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing because everyone, and the reason why it works in those small groups is because there's no excess. So everyone has to work in order to survive. So like, people like, well, communism worked for so long. Yeah, those tribes were like a max number of like 100 people. Maybe a little more than that, but like not very many. And that's because you work or you die. Oh, Weapons just texted me. I'm going to ignore him again. Oh, that reminds me. What metal track was in your You Done Messed Up Iran video? I don't know. I got it from Epidemic Sound. I think I just typed like doom metal and it was one of the first ones to pop up or something. Driving is of people going places and doing things. Doing it in a car is a lie. Wait. Is lie wearing a rubber Riding motorcycle is raw dog in the streets and hoping everyone else is safe and clean. You know, I never really thought about that. That's actually, yeah, no, that's fair. That's a fair assessment. Just realized what Sunday is. Happy birthday, Army. Yeah, the Army is turning 251. 251. Because the Army was made June 14th, 1775, not 1776. Warrior Shaman. I know Warrior Shaman. He has some songs about some of my characters and stuff like that. He has one about Nick, like the fat electrician and shit. I like me and Warrior Shaman. Yeah, we've talked. He's a good dude. Morning, member of KC that does not resemble the 80s rocker and was famous for leather attire. What? Gamer Valine, what are we talking about? Imagine how many boots had to be removed to count that. Fuck you. But it's accurate. Do you mind if I DM you after the stream with more details? Send it over to my mods. Because after the stream, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to unplug after the stream. I'm just going to go sit on my ass and do nothing because of the way this week has been. Oh, man. 1 year for each pound of HLC. Aha. Aha. Ban him. No. We're not doing a queso style stream here. It is going to be gummy time. Wolfram and all my mods, I haven't really been playing much of anything. I did play a little bit of there's a game that I had on my wish list. It's a survival game, naturally, because that's what I like. It's called Solar Punk. It's not bad. It's like floating islands. You fly around in a balloon. Everything's like, yeah, it's kind of fun. Ugh. We should liberate Beans on Toast for our 250th. Wouldn't that be the funniest shit? It's like, hey, happy 250th to me. By the way, we want our revenge. They're weak right now. Like, I'm not, and that's not me saying that. That's not me making it up and saying the UK is weak. No, that is their defense minister who's resigning because they can't afford to maintain their military and be prepared for the next threats real threats in the world. Like, that's not me. That's their own guy saying, we broke. America has lost its luster for the 250. I don't know if, it's interesting is everyone always talks about the good old days when America did this, America did that, and I don't think it's as far gone as people think. And the reason is, Americans really need something to unify over. What are you doing? What? Okay. Are you putting Fritz in here?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But I was going to say, somebody said, of course you drive an EV, right? For you, because you said.
Uh-huh.
You can tell them that it's my car, and it's because I'm really bad at putting gas in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got tired.
Why didn't you have me say that on the thing?
I don't know. It was a lot of pressure.
Yes, I drive an EV. Well, I don't. It's my wife's car. I drive a 2015 Ram 1500 with a V8. Some of you are old enough to get that reference. What are you two doing? It is not time. You got 10 minutes. Blink. You have cash potato eyes. Stop it. Don't. Who taught you those words? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. It's not time. You got 10 minutes. Did you just bark out a fart? Stop it. Go lay down. Now. I'm arguing with the dog here. You're a closet Roblox and Minecrafter, aren't you? I actually have never played Roblox, and I played Minecraft once. I kind of built like a base underground, and then I just never played it again. I was like, that's kind of cool. We're doing really bad Photoshop of Rich in the Pepperbox Discord today. Oh my God. I need to go see those because I could use any and all ammunition I can get for Rich. It's not time. Don't look at the bag of treats. Don't look at me. You know what is my favorite thing in this timeline, though? Hang on. Mrs. HLC is getting a Bernie costume for Halloween. That's funny as hell. You know, no, my favorite thing about this timeline is, have you guys seen the massive amounts of videos of people from Europe just experiencing the United States? Like, there was some guy from South Africa was like, we take our meat very seriously. And then he tried like Texas brisket and his mind was blown. And I was like, yeah. And they say we don't have culture here. And honestly, I think it's a really unifying thing. Like, I mean, aside from the jokes and like people realizing that they're wrong about the US, I think it's a really unifying thing because we share so much with like the United Kingdom and, you know, a lot of these other countries, but they just see what's on the news. So they think that we're like a war torn fucking super dangerous school shooting menagerie, which don't get me wrong. I don't like the fucking school shootings either. Will you two stop being weird? They're wrestling on the floor. First or second gen Cummins? Well, it depends. Do you want your head studs or your injectors to go out first? I like the first gen, the 12 valve. Yeah, it's not bad. Mine's a 5.7 though. Like mine's a gasser. Add kick to my streaming repertoire if you can. I considered it. I mean, I play video games. I just don't really dedicate a lot of time to it. Like I play for an hour or two and I'm like, shit, I gotta go. Like ask my mods, ask Wolfram. When I play video games with Wolfram, he's got me for like maybe 2 hours and I'm either like, I'm exhausted or I gotta go do something or someone calls me and I gotta go handle something. Like it's never like a long term thing. I just don't have the time. Look at these two goobers. I don't think Fritz realizes Knox could just end him in one bite. No head and mouth. Your mouth. No. It is not time. You still have 7 minutes. Knox, go lay down. Go. He's just mouthing off all day today. He's just... Oh, you bastard. Harder to unify when they throw in a bunch of incompatibles in the mix and they know it. You know, this is the thing. I'm not a very big conspiracy theorist. There are some conspiracies that I do believe in, like cats are alien spies. And before you come at me sideways, realize that number one, a house cat is cute enough that humans want it in their life. Number two, they're also vicious enough they can survive out there by themselves. It makes perfect sense that they would be drones for an alien civilization trying to learn about us. Don't come at me, okay? But, plus they always watch you. But one of the conspiracy theories that I don't really like, I feel like if they keep us fighting each other, then we're less inclined to hold them accountable. And, for the longest time, I was like, no, that's not the case. We just really need, strong, powerful leaders. And then after this whole Epstein debacle, I'm like, what are we doing? What? One side said that they had them for 4 years. They didn't release shit. The other side's like, yeah, we're going to release it, but we're going to redact 95% of it. They're both trying to protect their fucking homeboys. And the longer they keep us fighting with each other, the more power they maintain. Like, I'm not picking sides here. There is a side to pick. There's people on the Epstein list and there are people not on the Epstein list. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. A dog is a pet. A cat is a roommate. Cats rule, dogs rule. You know what? Hang on. Watch him up in the corner. Get the kitty. Knox, get the kitty. Where's the... Okay. Good boy. Good boy. Here, I guess we'll go early. You have a crusty in your eye. This is a no CP household. Give me the fucking eye booger, you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm so frustrated with everything, like politically, in the world, in the United States. And I think that other countries are feeling it just in different ways. Like the United Kingdom, instead of them holding themselves accountable or people holding themselves accountable, they just have to worry about, being stabbed or being ruthlessly fucking jumped and kicked and hit and fucking murdered on their own soil. Like, it's just, and again, outside looking in, I'm an American. I haven't been there. I don't know exactly how dangerous it is. I'm just secondhand. I'm just pissed off at the world at this point. Yeah. Yesterday I held 2 feral cats by the scruff. Well, this is the thing, right? And I don't think, people are like, well, you don't want immigrants here. No. Never said that. Especially in the United States, our nation was built on immigrants. The Chinese, if you want to go back far enough, Africans, but a lot of the Irish, the Italians, the French, they all came here for a better life. And you know what they all did? They all assimilated. My great-grandfather on my mom's side came here with his daughter, my grandmother, in 1903 through Ellis Island, and he didn't speak any English. So my grandmother went to school every day to learn English and would come home and teach her parents English because they only spoke Italian, because they wanted to assimilate into the United States and be a part of the greatest country on earth. And I genuinely believe so. Assimilation. So it's not a race thing, it's a cultural thing. There are certain cultures that just don't work together. And I don't think that should be such a hard thing for people to bring up, right? There are certain cultures that just cannot coexist. If I move to the United Kingdom for whatever reason, can I bring my guns? No, that's not allowed there. Can I smoke weed? No, that's not allowed there. Can I hoist my American flag? Why would I want to do that? A country that I left. Why would I want to, hoist the flag of a country that I no longer wanted to be a part of? Like, it's just dumb to me. I need to assimilate anywhere that I go. Someone brought up Norway. If I go to Norway, I'm going to have to learn to speak Norwegian or whatever. Norwegian, right? Exactly. Just, that's my thing. I don't care who comes here, right? Like, I mean, obviously I want the safest people, but like, just assimilate. Our culture is different than yours. Now, American culture is a mishmash of a lot of different things. And we have, higher numbers of individuals of every, type of culture all around the United States. But you just, I don't care if you wear a headscarf. That's harmless. That is your traditional garb. Doesn't hurt anyone, okay? I have an issue when you want other people who are American to wear a headscarf. That's a problem. Now, if a woman travels to the Middle East where women are required to wear a headscarf, guess what? That's part of the culture. You need to assimilate to that. That makes perfect fucking sense. It's not a racial thing. It's a cultural thing. And I think that's really what needs to change. I accidentally ordered Mrs. HLC an AOC costume. Give me the dumbest fucking political takes you can. Oh, man. Oh, I'm sorry. Favorite anti-drone system? Ooh, good question. CIWS, maybe? I mean, CIWS, LPWS, CRAM, whatever. Yeah. I heard somewhere that HLC... I don't play 40K. I read 40K. And I only read when I travel, so... I do have some travel coming up, so I want to get back into that. I'm on the 4th book of the Horus Heresy, the Flight of the Einstein. Although it's really weird the way the book started, because like in the 3rd one, what's his name went over to the Einstein from the, what the hell's the name of the ship? The War Master's ship. I can't remember the name of it, but anyways, he flew over there and like pretty much defected, and they were like, we need to get the fuck out of here. And the Einstein got all jacked up, and then it shot into the warp, and they're like, it'll never make it through the warp. And then you start out the 4th book, and it's not mentioned. I mean, don't get me wrong. Nathan, not Tarovitz, Nathan, fuck, what's his name? I mean, he's badass, but I'm just, yeah. Horse, I'm on the 4th one. Yeah. I pick SM6. I wouldn't count SM6 as an anti-drone system. It's anti-ballistic missile. I mean, SM6 is comparable to a PAC-3. Hey, everyone. Love the channel all the way over here in Alaska. What's the temperature there right now? Curious. 3D print canards with built-in magnets and stick them on people's car doors. I still have that 3D printer. Oh, my God. That's the best thing ever. Just keep magnetic canards in my truck. Anytime someone parks like shit, I just put canards on their car.
Do you think the kid will ever get a true intercept? If so, besides Russia, who's going to be the first country to meet their gods?
I think if I were a betting man, the U.S., we kind of save our favorite toys for until we either A, know that they're going to perform exactly what we need them to do, or B, desperation. So when it comes to the F-22, I mean, the easy answer is like, if we ever go toe-to-toe with China, we're going to see the F-22 put in work. And I can guarantee she's going to rack up, I say he is going to rack up some fucking J-10s, maybe a J-20. I mean, depending, a lot plays into that. Do I think our pilots are more skilled? Absolutely. Do I think our sensor network is better? Absolutely. Do I think our munitions are better? Absolutely. But things can always happen. I think realistically, right now, we're in the closest time we would ever see it happen. Because Iran, apparently, and I don't know how old the video is, they showed that one of their F-14s was still flying. I'm like, I mean, it's going to suck that it's an American aircraft, but realistically, you're just old yellering them at that point. I don't really trust the CIWS fully. Well, he was specific about drone. I just think the CIWS is really cool to look at. But I mean, if we're talking like all air defense, if we're talking cannon, I do like the German Millennium gun. I think that's really fun. The Mantis, I think it's really cool. It's a CIWS, but with one barrel. And it's so wild the way it does it. Our rounds have a fragmentation range. I don't know if we can set that fragmentation range. But the Millennium gun programs every single round as it leaves the barrel at like 1,500 rounds a minute, which is fucking cool. It's German engineering, so it's probably a very overcomplicated process, but it's cool looking. If we're talking about missile systems, I genuinely, I love, but I also hate Patriot because I worked on it. But I also, have I been watching the Great Tournament of the Greatest Sport in the World? I have not. But I also like THAAD. And right now on paper, right? There's so many variables that go into this. On paper, THAAD is the most effective ballistic missile defense system on Earth. And that's because of a couple reasons, right? Number one, it has been saturated less than any other air defense system because it only has a certain number of targets that it can hit and certain elevations and dive calculations and things like that. Number two, it is relatively new. Number three, GMD's never been used in combat. I fucking hope it never happens in my life. GMD's ground-based mid-course defense. That's our ICBM defense for the continental United States. They go like Mach 33 or something. But remember, those aren't hypersonic. Mach 33 missiles that America has, interceptors, not hypersonic. Now do you understand why I think Russians are dumb? That is until Russia figures out the word high hypersonic. That's a thing, too. I think I'm way behind. Oh, man. If you don't already know, there's time capsule going to be open on July 4th in Hotville, California. I plan to be there. Unsure your plan, but I wanted to mention July 4th. I have something going on the 5th. I won't be able to make that. I'm so sorry, but I'm actually kind of curious to see, when did they seal it? Gigasonic. I'm sure that's a thing. But above hypersonic, I only know of high hypersonic, which is greater than Mach 10. I probably shouldn't have said that out loud. Because now Russia's, oh, this missile is high hypersonic. And then the news is going to get a hold of it and make it sound like it's the scariest fucking thing known to man. You remember like 6 months ago when Iran said their hypersonic anti-ship missiles could sink any carrier that got near, or destroyer, or anything else like that? How many carriers or destroyers have we lost now? Okay. So the missile man was right? That's okay. Just checking. Most smart people are smart enough to paid well without the drama of political position. They're way smarter women than Kamala, but why are they not running? They only allow the dumb, easy manipulated, love legal immigrants, by the way. Yeah. Again, we are a country of immigrants. We need immigration. But that also means we need assimilation. Our cultures are different, and that's okay. You can have different cultures. Missile man. What's older, the U.S. Army or Marines? I think Army. Army's June 14, 1775. The Marine Corps is November 1775, I think. Somebody? Iran hasn't had to face what Iraq did. If we started stacking up like an invasion like we did in Iraq, first Gulf War or second? Because first Gulf War, we went in like a big dick in a locker room. Second one, it was mostly just U.S. Like I'm not talking shit about anybody else, right? But it was mostly just us. There was our partner nations. They did support, right? They were there for us. I'm not downplaying their thing, but it was almost entirely us. The first Gulf War, dude, everyone was throwing their best shit at them. And it was great. It was wonderful. Oh, you're talking Desert Storm? Desert Storm, and I think a lot of that had to do with the Schwarzkopf doctrine. Schwarzkopf, it was just chef's kiss. Schwarzkopf, I love his thought process. I'm going to end this so fast, politicians can't fuck it up. Which is crazy. Everyone's like, well, it was over in like 60 days. Yeah. The kill death ratio for Allied forces was 200 to 1. Do you have any idea how angry you have to be to off 200 people for every one you lose? Dude, it's nuts. Dumbest political take. All taxes go to skunkworks and the CL 1201 is real. I'm not opposed to that. Although I think that they canceled that program, not because it was impossible, just because it was probably impractical to try and get that thing off the ground with how many F4s were strapped underneath it. Guy can't even pronounce Kamala. Kamala. What are we talking about here? This is the thing. You also got to understand, okay, I'm not opposed to women being in office, right? I'm not opposed to it. I have no issue with it. Hillary scares the living shit out of me, okay? Hillary Clinton, when she ran, that woman terrifies me. I would never say she's unintelligent. She is not unintelligent. That woman is fucking scary, okay? I had some genuine disagreements with her policy, so she didn't get my vote. That's okay, right? Everyone's entitled to it. I didn't vote for or against anyone based off of their gender or race. I think that is dumb in general. However, you also got to understand that a lot of other nations out there, like, would we even be in peace talks with Iran? Like, let's say that there was a female in office, right? And for training purposes, female in office as the president of the United States, most powerful position in the world. Okay. Would the IRGC be willing to negotiate with a female president? I don't know. They view them as less than. You blow up enough of their shit, they tend to come to the table, but I don't know. I have no clue. I have no idea how deep that rabbit hole goes. No clue. So even if we're ready for it, there may be large swaths of the planet that are not and may not want to work or negotiate with a female president. It's a very real possibility. I don't like it. I don't have to like it, right? I think that everyone should be judged, based off of their character, not the content, or not the color of their skin, not their gender, not their ideology, their character. That's how everyone should be judged. But don't get mad at me when someone of a different faith, different color, different gender has a shit character and I tell them that they have a shit character. Okay? Don't get mad at me for that. Dude, stop, move on, for fuck's sake. So someone should tell the nerd to stop bullying the kid. I saw Franklin welding canards onto the kid, and then I asked him why. He said the nerd told him, so now he can come out of the hangar. That's kind of fucked up. I may end up using that eventually. That's actually a really good joke. Okay, we roped Joe into more bad Photoshop. Overserved is now a meme channel. I love it. I love it. I'm going to go look. I can definitely see the Tundra Tards throwing high hypersonic around. Let's see that in the next video. Oh my God. I don't want to use that in a video specifically because I know as soon as I use it, it's going to start spreading. And that's why I don't want to use it. The Typhoon will be so proud of the kid. All right, mate, where'd you get the canards? Get the fuck away from me. Don't touch my butthole. Also, for whoever in my comment section today, when I kind of like lost it as the kid and then eventually had to like catch myself and said words are hard, that was a real blooper that I just left in. Because in my head, the line was that I have 2 wings, 1 brain cell, and I think I was going to say a fuckload of one-way tickets to your God. And I just couldn't get the words in that order. What about the XF-23? Oh, you mean the almost good enough? I don't know anything about that. Oh, there we go. Oh. All right, there we go. Listen to Wolfram. There's only 700 people in here. Gonna get down to like gonna get down to like 300 as soon as I start talking politics again. So basically, what I want to say is I'm not going to take my political compass from Wolfram, a Canadian. What has Canada ever given the world? Maple syrup? Poutine? What are we even talking about? Oh, once upon a time there, we burned down your White House. Yeah. 35 years after our nation was born. With assistance from the largest empire in human history. Fucking Canadians. Beaver chucking? Please tell me that's a real thing. I'm not going to Google that. I don't want that in my search history. But please tell me that's a real thing. If the kid's over there, surely he's got some drone action. You think it's possible and we just don't know? I wouldn't doubt it. Honestly, I think that eventually things will get declassified and we'll find out the F-22 was used more. Now, like, if you read different sources, when we talk about like the Battle of Conoco Fields, F-22s are on the list of aircraft that was used in the Battle of Conoco Fields. Unfortunately, I couldn't find out what their support level was. Like it straight up said, when I went through kind of the details, hey, HIMARS hit these targets, Apaches hit these targets, B-52s were raining hell over here. Like I went through and then it said, hey, F-22s were used. Never said what they did. I couldn't find what they did. (1812) Spain still had the largest. Did they? I thought the British Empire was past them, and I'm not being a smartass. Like, I don't know a great deal. Like my brain is like World War II history, and then I kind of like thumbed through Vietnam and then forward. Come on, I think we'll all like laughing at the icicle idiots. Maybe. What's the more preventable loss of a rocket? The Blue Origin test rocket that exploded or the Bad Dragon rocket that burned up on the pad? So I am the missile guy. I understand to a point some level of rocket technology. Most of my job focused on like tactics and radar theory because I had to understand how my radar worked, what it could see, how it saw those things, ways to prevent ducting, atmospheric interference, side lobe interference, things like that. So this is more of a like an engineer type question. I can take a stab at it. Probably the one that it was more preventable is the one that burned up on the pad, because every American test rocket that I've ever seen really doesn't have a trouble igniting. It's just keeping that fire and that thrust in one central location. That's how rockets explode, right? If they don't burn at the right rate, if the fuel is, because most of it's solid state fuel. So solid state fuel is it's a really weird thing. Solid state fuel is so good, right? It's great. You can store it for long periods of time. As long as you keep humidity out of it, it'll continue to be used for many, many years. That's why we use it. It's more stable. It's a great fuel. The problem is sometimes it's not perfect. And so basically, if you've ever made like a sugar rocket out of stump remover and sugar, for some of you have just heard about this for the first time and you're going to go try and figure out what a sugar rocket is. They're a lot of fun. They're a blast. But so you have to poke a hole down the middle. And what that does is when you light it, it burns from the inside. You have a hole down the middle. It burns. And this is a very simplified version. Burns from the inside out, and all of that gas escapes out the back instead of out the front. Okay. A lot of that is the same for solid state rocket fuel. It has to burn a certain way. Well, if some of the rocket fuel is could be wet, or maybe the chemical concoction was fucked up, it can cause it to either combust and ignite or just not produce thrust and burn very slowly and burn down on the pad. So I think the one burning down on the pad is probably more preventable. I would base that one off of either the rocket engine or the fuel itself. Granted, those aren't solid state all the time. Those are often liquid state. And I know fuck all about liquid fuel. Sorry, I wish I could give you a better answer there. You have to pick a current U.S. system and give it to the enemy. You must pick something in active service and modern 1995 or newer. What are you going to give them? Mark 19. And to some of you, you might be like, oh my God, you've never used a Mark 19 in combat. It's the most heavy, unreliable piece of dog shit that the U.S. Army, I don't know what other branches have it, have ever purchased. Mark 19. That's what I'm giving them. Because you're a big target on top of that thing. They're very easy to disable, and they are woefully unreliable. Jamming? Hope you like jamming too. Yeah. That's honestly, that's the easiest way to find out if anyone ever really used a Mark 19. Now, there are some one-offs. Every once in a while, they're like, oh, this is, they do work right. Every once in a great while, like 1 out of maybe 1,000 work really well. But if anyone's ever been to combat, like actually used a Mark 19 in combat, they'll take a 240 or 50 cal all day over that Mark 19. They're like, nope. But it shoots grenades. Yeah, like 1 every charge. They're fucking terrible. They're awful. Mark 19 was made by the Navy. Checks out. That's why you got to lube it up with whale sperm. I don't know what it's called. It's like a lard consistency, and that's how you lubricate the Mark 19. You're not supposed to use CLP. P320. It was right there. I don't know why people say the Chinese anti-aircraft system doesn't detect the F-35. When it blows up, you know an F-35 is nearby. That is really the easiest way to know that an F-35 is close. The guy that invented solid-state fuel was in a cult the creator of Scientology scammed. Huh. Did you guys hear that? I'm trying to find out the full details. Like, one article says that LDS, and I did mention this in my video, says that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or LDS, the Mormon church, right, was removed from the recognized religions. And another article says that it was just lumped in with Christianity. I have no idea. I'm not in the military anymore, so I don't really get to see a lot of the Army pubs and DA PAMs and all these other things that they publish out. I have no clue. So that was an interesting thing. The comment about Scientology kind of had my brain like, whoop. So F-22 pops his cherry and you have like a morning after 2-pump chump, or he dominates a bunch and walks in big dick energy. But what country is going to send up enough targets for him? Rhymes with... I don't think China would. This is the thing. Going toe-to-toe with the United States, and this is where... And at first I really did agree with Ryan Macbeth. I absolutely agreed with Ryan Macbeth that like China was building up to fight us. I think they realize that there's more benefit and less risk engaging in an economic war with the United States. Every time the U.S. leaves somewhere or someone has a bad taste in their mouth, it's not mentioned very big in the news, but just kind of read the footnotes or read the small articles. China moves in every single time. They tried making deals with the Taliban. Taliban signed the deals. China didn't hold up to their deals. China left. Now I think someone said Russia's going back there. I don't know. Cult gonna cult. I still think it's funny that we're in a timeline where teenagers are trying to speed run the Scientology building, which is, I can't think of a better use of their time. I really can't. LDS is a cult. Believe me, I'm from Utah. Part of me wants to agree with you because I have kind of looked into it a little bit. However, I did serve with several members of LDS, and they were good troops, good dudes. They never spoke poorly about LDS, and I'm okay with that, right? Like I try and observe as much as I can. Someone said power vacuums are fun. Yeah. I think China wants Taiwan first. If they can successfully take Taiwan and we don't stop them, they're going to be emboldened. And I hate that. I don't want to send Americans out there to kill people or to die. I don't want to do that. But we cannot, whether through annex or through brute military force, we cannot let Taiwan fall to China. We can't. That's just going to embolden them. I hate it. I don't like it. I wish they would just chill the fuck out, but they won't. I know a captain of the Navy. He's not gay. Oh my God. No way. How did he get there? They can be good people, but still a cult. Well, from some of your family is LDS, isn't there? Or Jehovah's Witness or something? I don't know. Rip, I tried to get you to Google Bad Dragon Rocket over again. You completely glossed over. No. I think I remember that from last time. That is a real rocket, though, isn't it?
Would you
Wesley
intercept me?
Morris.
I'd intercept me.
You just made me realize, I'm not actually left-leaning at all. I just despise the orange leader and his boot lockers so much it starts to feel like I moved left. There's a tree in the rainforest whose only function is to replace the oxygen he wastes.
You know, and you guys can leave it. You don't got to, remove that or anything else like that. It's I think this administration has done some really good things, right? They have done some very, very good things. Do I believe in our fight with Iran? Absolutely. Anyone who ever fought in GWAT is going to tell you this is the fight that should have happened years ago. Because Iran has been training, funding, and helping out everyone who was killing me and my friends overseas for 20 years. This has nothing to do with Israel. Kind of. Right? When I say kind of, it means the last aggressor nation in that part of the world is Iran. After that, and that this is all settled, we shouldn't have to give $3 billion a year, $3.6 billion a year to Israel for defense. So everyone thinks I'm on Team Israel until I say that. It's crazy. But, so I think it would be a lot more liked if he just stopped tweeting and talking all the time. And not everything is the greatest it's ever, any doctor's ever seen. Any doctor. I have the best MRI, the best one they've ever seen. So I don't know, man. It's, I don't know. It's okay, Wolfram. I'm just going to lightly, and this okay. I do want this. We try and stay kind of light on the politics. I'm allowed to talk about it, but my mods are mean as fuck. It's because I want people to have constructive discourse. I want us to have these conversations. However, most people, I would say a greater than 50%, can't admit when someone else makes a point if they have a political disagreement with said individual. And I think that is inherently wrong. The right answer is not absolute love for a political affiliation or absolute hatred for political affiliation. I think you should take the good with the bad. My personal opinion. Are you taking the Fritz?
Yeah.
Good. He's being a pain in my ass.
No.
Always love this term, earn my wings. My buddy in the Navy used to say it. Earned his wings for what? I mean, the Army would have jump wings. Gratitude is a thing. No, you're good, Wesley Morris. It's all right. We normally keep, we don't really mess with politics just because most people are not kind of, and this is the thing. I don't want to agree with everybody out there. I encourage disagreement, right? I encourage it. I just come at me with facts, knowledge, and information. And when I retort with my own facts, knowledge, and information, that's not me trying to shoot you down. That's me saying, this is why I believe this way. This is my understanding of it. And you should be able to come back at me that way, right? People thought that I disliked Charlie Kirk because one of the things that I said, after his passing is, it was awful that it happened, right? It shouldn't have happened, but I do believe some of the things he said were very kind of ignorant, right? And just, and I used a couple of different words, and they came out of the woodwork, thought that I hated Charlie Kirk, and I didn't. I thought he was incredibly intelligent, and I thought what he was doing was a great thing. Talking to people and having a constructive conversation. And guess what? Even if I disagreed with Charlie Kirk, I could have disagreed with Charlie Kirk to his face based off of my opinions, my knowledge, my morality, and his. He wouldn't have hated me, and I didn't hate him. You can have a disagreement. It's all good. You understand. That's the main thing. Some here don't. Thank you, HLC. How things used to be, and that's how things need to be again. Yeah. You can have a political disagreement. Now, there are some people you just can't reach. There are some. I don't want to touch too much on it, but that whole court thing that happened recently, some of the most repugnant and evil things were said to people of different skin colors and to, families on either side, right? That's not right. That's no. I can't stand that it's always the most ignorant that is always the loudest. It drives me insane. Console's better than PC. That's just like how you feel, bro. But better is kind of arbitrary. Depends on what metric. My PC has more RAM, better processing power, takes more power. It's a little more temperamental. It's a lot heavier. It's a lot larger. But, check China's efforts in South Pacific and how it has gone. You talking about like the hardships that they're giving to the Philippines, or that they're kind of extending their own coastline with dirt? Like China does some, and it's not China, it's the CCP. So when I talk shit about China, I want people, like, if you can watch this in China, which I think YouTube is banned there, I'm not sure. I have no issue with the Chinese people. I have an issue with their oppressive, fucked up CCP. And they probably, there may be some over there that have the same sentiment. Like, I don't hate Americans. I don't like your administration, like your regime, if they want to use that term. And that's okay. We saw how the Inhumans act towards civilization with rage and unalivings, kidnappings, girl schools for wives, etc., breeding, upbringing, borders, language, culture, clam opening, Gary. Mm-hmm. It's the world could use some more compassion. It's crazy. As I spent most of my adult life as it depends on your definition of the word, but you could say a warrior, right? Like someone in the military that's their job, is to fight and win their nation's wars, right? That's what they do. I want peace more than anybody else in this world. I can't say more than anybody else, but I want peace more than most. I see how much is wasted with loss of life, with conflicting ideologies, with just people who are too hard-headed to understand that we could all be doing better together. There's an old quote: "Is the soldier above all others wishes for peace, because it is the soldier who must bear the wounds and scars of war." And it's a bit of a paraphrase. I can't remember who said it. Might have been Churchill. I don't know who said that. Racism is ignorance. Thank you. Yeah. Like, I make racist jokes, but I make them about everybody. Like, that's just Buff. That's the character. Do I actually hate anybody of any race, gender? No, except the blacks. I'm just kidding. I had to break out the voice just for that. I don't know. The world could use a whole lot more compassion. It really could. I think about where we would be as a species if we could all come together and realize that the universe is massive. Letting out Buff just for that moment, yeah. Got an idea for a what if video. Look up War Plan Orange. It was when the U.S. was planning to go to war with beans on toast in the 1920s. That's a thing? War Plan Orange. I like it. I will look into that. And I think everyone just needs to be reasonable in the world. Would love to see the kid confuse Geneva and Jehovah's when he finally goes to the Middle East. Make an absolutely terrible judgment call. What? I don't know. Intercept's an intercept. It's actually not a half bad idea. I don't know if I'll do it that way, but Geneva and Jehovah, I wonder if I can get away with that. That's funny. However, conflict drives innovation. Yeah. You know what would unite all the people of the world? Alien invasion. I'm telling you. I thought about making that a skit, like just a little spin-off where like aliens invade. Maybe I did. Did I do that already? What up, HLC? Sorry I didn't catch last week. It's all good, Aaron. I'm in my company's only utility line locator, servicing almost 34,000 square mile area. That's 1,000, right? That's 3? Yeah. Your videos are keeping me sane, except when I lose cell service. Well, Aaron, you be safe out there, my dude. Thank you so much for being here. Topic change. Which is more important to winning the World War II? Time fuses, AA, or the hedgehog for sub hunting? It wasn't time fuses. It was the VT fuse. Nick did a awesome video about it after we went to the ADA training and support facility. What?
Give him the chair.
Oh.
Give him the chair.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I gotta pee. I'll be right back. Come here, big boy. Come here, big boy. Oh, come here. You're going on stream, dude. Oh, here you go. Here you go. It's a Nox stream now. Oh, my big boy. You just sniffing everything up here? Okay, do you want down? Good boy. How did you shed on it in like 2 seconds? And we missed Protocol 4. I know, chair stream, chair. Oh God, chair, yes. I think it went back in the bag. Oh, I'm starting to get Charles Manson, race Civil War vibes. Not that I want it, but I think it's, I don't know. Because I think that there's still enough reasonable Americans that realize that you can't judge someone's competence or morality. You shit. Gross motherfucking dog. You smell like ass. Oh. World's quickest pee. That last catch was loud. Oh yeah, he had that thing slammed shut. Topic change. Oh, sorry. So the AA and the VT fuses. VT fuse. I genuinely think so. Because before we came up with the variable time fuse, it was taking like 9,000 rounds on average. And I'm not exaggerating, between all the different AA systems to take down a single plane. That number dropped to like less than 1,000 when the VT fuse came out. Like drastic change to how much we were hitting it. Did the chair fart? No, maybe. What's my actual opinion of the decisions being made in the Middle East when it comes to Iran? Do you believe we look weak on the world stage right now? No. I think Iran has a better social media propaganda campaign than the United States does. And I've said that 100 times over. Iran and Russia have way better social media propaganda campaigns than the US does. Significantly better. So like if you pay attention to social media, we're losing, we're a laughing stock, we're blah, 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 blah. But I think the real tell to anyone who has studied like tactics and things like that is, you know, how do you judge who's winning and who's losing? Okay. What metrics? The amount of systems destroyed, US is winning there. The amount of leaders eliminated, US is winning there. The amount of ships sunk, US is winning there. The amount of planes taken out, US is winning there. Like there's a lot of different things. And people always like, well, it's costing us so much money. Yeah, it costs money instead of lives. What would you prefer? So I think the biggest psyop against Americans right now is probably, and I mentioned it in my video today, is that Iran has convinced a lot of Americans that they closed the strait out of defiance against the United States instead of desperation. So let me ask you this, and it's a genuine question. Just think about it. What else can they do right now? Think about all of their capability, everything that they do. What else can they do? They've done everything that they can do. They've thrown missiles and drones at all of our bases and our assets and our friendlies in the area. They've closed down the Strait. The Strait is their nuclear option. There's nothing else they can do. Like that's literally that they're closing the Strait was their nuclear option. There's nothing else. So I think it is probably one of the best psyops I've ever seen against American people, is to convince them that that was done out of defiance and not desperation. Like it's really grow canards. Someone said they can grow canards. Yeah, there's really nothing else they can do without a nuclear weapon. Now, nuclear weapons change things drastically. There's always a lot of saber rattling, and you know, we take into account that, like, you know, no air defense system is perfect. You know, and I tell people that all the time. They're like, you know, could America eventually build a system that would negate mutually assured destruction? No. Do you have any idea how scary the world would be if we did that? Or if any nation said that they could do that? Because let's say tomorrow, President Trump comes forward and says, hey, we've completed the Golden Dome for training purposes. We've completed the Golden Dome. We have successfully negated mutually assured destruction. If that statement is true, we could nuke anybody on the world and no one could stop us. No one could retaliate. No one could do anything about it. Do you have any idea how scary of a concept that is? So that's why I explain to people. The hide in Putin's bunker. Will I make another blooper reel with another another animated episode? So I do want to do another animated episode. I didn't do that. Someone else did. I want to go back down, but I need to take my time building it. And I kind of rushed it last time and I shouldn't have done that. Finally done with work, here to pay therapy dues. Okay, so tell me about what is going on in your life and how does that make you feel? Missile Guy, please oversimplify how a system tracks targets. Depending on the system, depending on the radar, depending on the power, depending on the wavelength, okay. Simple as, okay. We'll do radar, because thermal is just, that's hotter than that. I'm going to look at what's hot, right? The thermal's, whatever. I mean, it works. It's effective. That's why we use it. But, so radar. I'm going to do a ground-based radar because those are what I know the most about. Radar sits here, sets up, pushes out radiation. Now, this can be in waves, this can be in beams, this can be, there's a lot of different things you can do, but Patriot specifically is it has beams, electronically steerable pencil beams, and it pushes out millions of those every second, okay? So these beams go out, and they bounce off of all sorts of shit. You think like, oh, it's going to bounce off of planes. Yeah, they do that. They also bounce off of clouds, dust, humidity, birds, a fucking grocery bag flying through the air. They bounce off of everything. So then when that radar gets that information back, and it's constantly getting this information about what is out there and what it sees. So then it starts filtering through the information and it goes, okay, I looked at this. This is this size, this big. It's only moving this fast. That's cloud. That's not important. And it filters it out. Okay. I saw this. It's only this high. It's only this RCS. It's moving this slow. And unless you have something set that low, it's going to be like, I'm going to filter that out. I don't want to see that. But then all of a sudden you see something coming through, and as it gets closer and you're radiating on it and you're tracking it, it increases your fidelity. Now think of fidelity like your resolution. Okay. When you take a picture of something, higher fidelity, higher resolution, right? You see something kind of blurry off in the distance, but as it gets closer, you can start to see, okay, it has a delta wing design. It has 2 engines. It has canards. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I know that's a Eurofighter Typhoon. Now, it can't pick out individual details like that. Like it can kind of, but as those things come back. Now, when you hit something out there, not all of your beams come back to you. Some of them go in different directions. So you end up getting an image of this thing, and depending on its ratio to you, which direction it's flying, it could be going across your vision, towards you, away from you, is really going to depend on how you get that information. Now, more powerful high-end radars, I'm not saying that this is a capability. I don't want to talk anything about that, but you know, if it's going away from you or it's going towards you, some modern radars can measure the spinning of the fan blades on the front of the intake or on the size of the exhaust and where it's located on said aircraft, and give you a breakdown of what type of aircraft that potentially is based off of its engine design. And it also, as the light moves through the sound waves of that jet engine, you can kind of get a reading, potentially, theoretically, of the vibration of said jet engine, so you can measure sound with light. I know I'm blowing a lot of people's minds right now, okay? Stay with me. So basically, it takes all that information. Think about it like a flashlight with a spotlight. And then all of a sudden you see, let's say your flashlight is infinitely powerful. There's a shadow behind something because something is moving through. You see a shadow going across the clouds because something is moving. Same thing with radar. Same concept. Someone make him stop. He's got the tism on me, the bad tism all over the place. Might mean a rule that allows for one missile radar rant per stream. Hey, don't you judge me. But that's the easiest way I could break it down. I hope that makes sense. Sonar is hard. Sonar, I don't know how that fucking works because they don't push it out in beams. It's a wave of sound that they get a return off of, and they still interpret information on said sound. And but sonar works better underwater than radar because radar bounces off of things. Water is thicker than air. Water is also a non-compressive liquid, so you can measure densities with sounds. Yeah. Once I could see sounds, but I ended up in rehab. Sonar is witchcraft. Sonar, all I know is don't get near the front of the boat when it's underwater. It'll kill you. That's all I know. Really loud, blow your brains out. Do I have a tick cure? They're loving my body more than my ladies right now. 24 and 3 weeks. I have no idea. Probably the worst ticks I ever dealt with was in Kentucky. I was doing land nav towards the end of basic training, and I remember I counted 11 ticks crawl across my boot. I pulled 9 of them off of the bottom of my stomach that day. Yeah. Dude, I have no idea. Does sonar offend whales on accident? I don't know. I imagine there's a certain range that biologicals have to be from the sonar, because you can have passive sonar because things make noise in the water. Whales make noise in the water, and a sonar receiver should be able to pick that. I'm inferring. I don't know sonar. You want to know sonar? One of my mods, Dr. Kozak, he worked on subs. He worked on the missiles themselves. He didn't work on the actual like the sonar, but maybe he knows. I don't know. Yes, badly it messes with whale. Oh, there you go. Is sonar whale racism? Imagine all our boats, the ping that they put out for sonar is just a loud N-word underwater. We've convinced all whales that we don't like the darkies just because it's a really loud N-word. Oh, it's fucked up. Oh, man. Oh, that's funny. That's funny as hell. I must have missed where American geography were the Philippines and South Pacific. South, I think Samoa. Oh, sorry. When you think when I think South Pacific, that tells me Philippines, fucking Australia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, fucking, like that's South Pacific in my book. I don't know. My bad. That's a quote. Sorry, did I just go for the Philippines when someone asked about the South Pacific? That's my problem. Gonna peace out and crash. Here's some money. Well, thank you so much, Combo Freak. More chair. Oh my God, I'm still back behind the chair comments. More chair. Dear chair, did he wipe his butt after that bathroom break? I just took a pee. Can we get a Japan, China, North Korea playing the Pen Is game with buff commentary? It's actually pretty funny. Maybe. Would love to know the kid's reaction to getting intercepted by playing with canards. Does immediately self-intercept. Listen, okay? Did you watch that fucking video? Okay, number one, they didn't tell me I was being intercepted. They just said that they were doing photo ops. Okay, number two, I'm carrying 2 drop tanks. And we were within visual range. That's like saying, hey, I'm going to go fight this karate master for his dojo, but I'm going to bring a gun. Everything I'm good at, they took away. Sorry, that's the best I can give you there. I agreed with you. Yes. I don't know what we're agreeing about. I'm still a little behind. My bad. It was War Plan Red, beans on toast. War Plan Orange was with Japan. We thought about invading Japan after World War II. The nukes worked so well the first time. Shouldn't be. Did HLC wipe his ball? I hate you guys. I hate this job sometimes. I don't want war unless I just had insecure officers. When the army transitioned to peacetime, they really made shit real gay. Honestly, man, Garrison in peacetime tested my gangster more than war ever did. I'm telling you, I was angrier at White Sands missile range with a staff sergeant than I ever was at the Taliban. His name was Kearns. And I had to get talked down by another E7, Lockwood, because I straight up walked into his office and I was like, you don't talk me down, I'm putting him through a second story fucking window. And he talked me down. And he didn't die. I didn't go to prison. Life's good. When do we goon? Now. I'm sorry. First time here. Hello. Welcome, Soul Rift. Alcoholism is on the left. Depression is on the right. Be careful you don't trip and fall into any feelings. I used to say that all the time. Do I read your chat? I'm trying to get caught up, man. I got like my actual like YouTube page over here and I got OBS over here and I kind of stopped the OBS chat. This one just kind of runs. What's my thoughts on the riots in Northern Ireland? Did you swallow your tongue again? Maybe a hot take. I'm not advocating for them. However, a necessary evil. Your government has an obligation to protect the citizens of your country. If non-citizens, again, I don't know if this guy was a non-citizen, but he was an immigrant, but if non-citizens are endangering your population and you fail to act, your citizens are obligated to hold you accountable. Now, I would not say accountability is in the form of burning down buildings and rioting and looting. I don't think that that is accurate, but something has to change. And maybe the Northern Ireland, the government, the United Kingdom government, needs a hard lesson in that. I don't. I'm tap dancing, Wolfram. I'm tap dancing. But that's my thought process on it. Is I don't think it should happen. I mean, honestly, like it's a really bad thing. You know, there are absolutely innocent people who are in fear right now. But there's also a lot of other people who were in fear and have now decided to stand their ground because they're tired of just being constantly in fear. I don't know. That's my thought. Did ultrasonics for years. Clouding phased array. It's about whether it sends the sound and being able to figure out how it bounces. Clouding phased array. I'm trying to understand what you're saying there, Oswolf. I think that's what that is. But sound phased array, is that sonar? I'm trying to understand that. For ticks, you need to tuck your clothing and tape on the inside of your pant legs and shirt collars to catch the few leakers. You'd also make homemade DDT and end up on a feds list. Dude, you know what's crazy is Americans overuse bug spray. And I didn't think that until I went to Afghanistan, right? Like we use, like the mosquitoes are real bad. So you put on the DEET or whatever, right? You put that on. They don't give a fuck in the States. They're like, that's cool. I'm still going to bite you, right? Like they don't give a shit. Dude, you put on DEET in Afghanistan, those mosquitoes aren't coming within a mile of you. It's wild. It is a completely different ball game over there. And that's when I realized like the ones in the US must be used to it. ultrasonic trigonometry. Yep. You way beyond me, homie. Trig is, I did one like trig class in high school. No, thank you. It's like geometry if it had a baby with algebra that pooped out things that I can't read. Any info on the live tours? As soon as I know, Eddie, you'll know. Well, as soon as I'm allowed to say, I don't know anything right now, but is, when they tell me and I'm allowed to say, but also it's important to remember that Unsub is not like I'm close with those guys. Like they are some of my best friends that I have outside the military. Right. But I told Eli, I was like, I would love to do this again with you. I would absolutely go on tour with you guys. I would, you don't pay me nothing. Like it won't cost you a dime. I would love to go. I had so much fun. However, Eli is a methodical and intelligent man. And if he decides that, hey, we're going to have somebody else instead of Ethan on this tour, that's his choice. That is entirely on him. Well, the members of Unsub, right? Like that's totally on them. And I told him I respect that. I would love to go. I'll put my hat in the ring. I would love to participate, but if you decide against it, no hard feelings, man. You got to do what's best for you. You did trig in 11th grade, you stop it. You need a chair character in one of your videos thanking his fans. Just good God. I'm pooping. Hopefully it didn't hit my nuts. Can I, you know what? I think that my next live stream is going to say, don't talk about my nuts. That's going to be the title of my next one. And the second, and I'm going to put it in the comment or in the, what is it? The description. The second someone brings up my nuts, stream ends. Watch, we're on like a 7-hour stream because no one brings it up. I did trig in no grade. Yeah. Also weapons. You're the only person in chat who knows how to use an abacus. Okay. Some of you may have to Google what an abacus is. That's fine. Go ahead and do that and then come on back. Nuts stream. Oh, we'll talk about your canards. Challenge accepted. He is not. Oh, John, you understand how an abacus worked? I remember learning one time, like kind of how an abacus worked, and then I never touched one again. To be fair, radar is all trig too. Is it? Yeah. There's a lot of angles and bouncing speeds and then you got to fuck with the Doppler effect. Kind of, if you have a Doppler radar instead of phased array. The Boy Scouts taught you how to use an abacus? You do realize, hold on, your nuts have come up on basically every podcast. Oh, I'm sure. I'm aware. What's the good word, Duck Hunter? The good word is foreskin. First time catching a live stream, welcome. But I've been watching for a long time. Can we get a second run of Franklin plushies? Potentially. So I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I'm dealing with the company that I went through. Okay, they shorted me 40 plushies. I paid them all their money. They shorted me the plushies. And I said, what are we going to do about this? And they said, that's fine. We'll pay you back for the 40 that didn't deliver. So we're 40 plushies short. Okay. And I said, hey, I have this and this. And they still haven't responded. So now I have to decide if I just say, take an L on that $400 or if I take them to the fucking cleaners. And then I need to try and get with Bunker and have them get a hold of someone actually useful because I'm not doing another 2-year fucking fight for these things. Someone who can remake these. I'm willing to pay the extra money and get them done. And then we can just go from there. But I'm potentially, because I didn't expect them to go so fast. I only did 500. Well, it turned out to be 460. But dude, they were gone by the weekend. Like they released on Friday and by Sunday there was none left. Like, holy shit. So potentially I got some work to do with Bunker. Joam just noticed the doggy cam, which I've literally never once seen. $5 for Joam pointing it out. Is Joam, I don't want to be a smartass. Is that a child or a dog or a cat? Joem. Wesley Morris. I'm sorry if you were chatting and I'm supposed to know who that was. I'm sorry I didn't read it. That's my fault. Since you haven't done politics in the stream at all, what are your thoughts on countries like UK and Australia having third parties become most popular? I hate the idea of political parties in general. I think that they are wrong. I think PACs are wrong. PAC money is wrong. I think trying to buy any type of politician is inherently wrong. I think lobbyists is wrong. I think that congressmen, senators, whoever being allowed to trade stocks is wrong. But there's only so many times you can try option A and B before C sounds a whole lot more alluring. That's probably the easiest way that I could put that down. Is sometimes people just want somebody else. And it's crazy. Is it like based on my takes, people try and lump me into so many different political parties. I'll say something, you know, kind of not really agreeing with this administration. They're like, "Oh, you're a libtard." No. Or then I'll say something pro this administration. "Oh, you're a MAGA." No. Then I'll say something like really pro-American and they're like, "You're a libertarian." No. Fuck, man. Can't a guy just like have opinions about where he lives? Like shit. Long ball, Ethan, thoughts on glassing Iran. As easy as that would be to do, I think it would be counterproductive to our position on the world stage. I know, I'm the warmonger, but there are a lot of ethnic Persians and innocent Iranians that are stuck between the IRGC taking them for everything that they're worth and the American war machine that is attempting to free them. However, if the IRGC remains in any capacity, they will convince the world that America lost this war, regardless of what the scoreboard says. If any amount of the IRGC remains, they're going to convince the world that we lost. That's a huge gamble. I said that day one when we went in and started bombing them. I was like, this is a huge gamble. This is a huge gamble. The margin for success is so thin. But glassing them, like, I mean, it's always fun to joke about and stuff. But I wouldn't advocate for just nuking another sovereign nation. Even if they are like, it's not the nation I have an issue with, it's the IRGC. Like I wouldn't even nuke Russia because they're living under Putin. I wouldn't nuke China because of Xi Jinping. Not without some amount of aggression against us. And I know they've already killed some of our service members and things like that, but you know, scoreboard. Look at the scoreboard. Learned abacus in the New Mexico School for the Blind. There's a blind guy watching my fucking stream right now. I'm sorry. I was just so taken back by that. Is your keyboard Braille? I'm so... Blind guy with a camera is hilarious because like you should just walk around with your camera pointed away from you and act like you're taking a selfie and like vlogging the whole time, but the camera isn't even pointed at you, which is so hilarious. I am so, look guys at my new pet horse. Man, I wish this blind guy could see it. And also I wasn't prepared for this, okay? Oh, watching, that's fucked up. High five to you, blind guy. Let's hope you know where it's at. Oh, fuck, dude, I want to make him a Discord mod so bad. Just give him all the power. I did take a gummy about 30 minutes ago, so Shout out to the blind guy. No, dude, I'm so glad you're here. I really am. And I'm glad that, like, that's part of the reason that I still do subtitles. Not for the blind, obviously. But there are some people that watch my videos that are deaf, which is why I'm so dedicated to the subtitles. People like you don't need those. You can get rid of those. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Fuck, I wish I could take a gummy CDL though. No, I get it, man. I took one about 30 minutes ago. Oh man. Drug addict. Share, go to the principal. I mean, if you were here. I got bored and did an Excel sheet for 3-dimension vector geometry for a sound beam bouncing inside of a railway rail. You know, Oswolf, the way I am about radars is probably the way you are about trig. I feel like that's a thing. Your blind viewer has better air defense capabilities than Madudu had. I love it. I love it. Is the process of you using the bathroom basically the equivalent of playing tetherball to avoid dirty sack? Also, thank you for your service. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. But no, so this is the thing. When you're in the military, especially, you know, being kind of my first job was light infantry. Turns out I didn't realize this wasn't very common, but I don't like unbutton my pants. I just use the zipper. So the balls never exit the pants. I know this is way too much information. I just use the zipper. I just kind of flop out, you know, a winky and just go that way. That's, yeah. I told my wife to order a Franklin plushie less than 20 minutes after the video announcing them went live and they were already sold out. I got you. 11 Bravo. I'll text Bunker on Monday. See what we can make happen. I just want to see where I'm at. The new ones may be priced a little bit different. Just because me and Bunker have to kind of, you know, it's got to be worth it for them. The margin was good for Bunker this time because I took care of all the legwork. I'm not doing that again. Who in what mechanical engineering program hurt you, Oswald? There's only one Franklin Prime. He's guarding my office. Yes, I am better. You do have Franklin 1 of 500. Well, 1 of 460. Don't worry. I don't think they did them in numerical order. I think they just grabbed, because I had a box of those certificates that I signed every single one. And I think they just, when they would pack up a plushie, they grab a card. I don't think they were in order. The fact that you got number 1 is actually really surprising because number 1 was like way down in the stack. Wait, you plops unbutton to take a piss? That's a thing? Yeah, I don't. I just unzip. I learned that while I was, you know, kind of in my early years in the military because you can't stop to piss. So like when you're on patrol, you like take a knee and you can just unbutton one of the, because like they don't have zippers in the Army uniforms. So you have like 4 buttons up the front of your zipper. You just unbutton like the bottom 2 with one hand. You know, keep your other one on your rifle, unbutton with your other hand, kind of flop it out, pull security while you're pissing. And then as soon as you're done, just flop it back in, button thing, you know, at least button one of them and then off you go. Did I see the plane that was seen over Area 51? Yes, with night vision. Do you think it was real or just another distraction? Also, why can't I say Area 51 here? I don't know. I have no control over the Area 51 thing. However, I did see that. The kid kind of made a reference about it. I want to wait until we know more. Everyone's like, it's the F-47. It could be several programs. That could also be a drone in testing because they are doing the Loyal Wingman. I don't know how big it is. That could be small. I don't know, right? It's easy to say that, that's the F-47. We don't know. Uncle Sam always be building shit. And we usually find out, like, okay. The F-117 Nighthawk was still new, relatively, when it was shot down, right? It was still relatively new. We didn't even bother going to retrieve the wreckage in Serbia because it was old technology for us. We'll put that into perspective. That would be called tribalism, my fat, bald missile guy, and all humans have this trait despite how annoying it is. We're back to talking about communism? Or cultural? HLC for all laughs, great content, no notes. Thank you, William Elliott. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, guys. We're over our 2 hours. Sorry, Moz, the political question was a joke. It's all good. What's been the highlight of my week? Highlight of my week. Mrs. Linecrosser's probably still watching this, so I shouldn't say it, but let me just say two words. Hot, heavy. You get what I'm saying? Picking up what I'm laying down? Here with us? Yeah, no, I'm starting to feel it now. And it was old F-117, was 1970s tech, yes. I mean, well, the technology, like the stealth on it was considered old tech. Like, we didn't even really go retrieve it because it's like, eh. But that's been the highlight of my week. Honestly, like, I give Mrs. HLC a lot of shit, but she is my absolute best friend. She really is. We tell each other everything. And plus, you know, there's no way for me to say this that doesn't sound like a little full of myself, but like now that I'm kind of an internet personality, like there's always going to be those people that gravitate towards you just because of what you give them. And I mattered to her before I mattered to anybody else. And to me, that's not something you can find very often in this world, because before I was ever HLC, I was just Ethan to her. Or awesome Ethan. I think that's what she has me in her phone as, which was kind of ironic because I texted her the first time when we went to go out on a date. I texted her, I was like, hey, it's that awesome guy Ethan. That was my attempt. That's how bad it was. 0 game. 0. Okay. But now here we are, almost, well, end of August, will be 6 years married. And yeah, she still has me in her phone as awesome Ethan. Speech to text on Android, and you'd be very surprised what I can do blind. This may be too much of a personal question, but like, how do blind guys pick up chicks? Like that's always been something I've been very curious about. God, this is the gummy talking. How do blind guys pick up chicks? Because like for us, it's like, oh, hey, look at that girl over there. She's really cute. You should go get her number, but you can't look at the girl over there. So you just like walk up and be like trying to see if you're one of the hefty ones. And like, you just start patting her down. I don't know how that works. We broke HLC stream. You did. Canard blind guy, sorry, with their arms? Is that a challenge? They have friends? Well, no, I mean, like I'm not saying like they're that disabled that they don't have any friends with them, but like I just want to know how that works. Shariz, been married for 2 years. Nice. Nice. I guess she doesn't have to worry about you seeing other people. I'm sorry. I'm okay. I don't feel good about it. It was there. It's hitting me. Your blind viewer has better air. Oh yeah, no, I read that one. Love the chat breaks. HLC's break. It does, dude. Very often. Very, very often. Coming up on 15 years of marriage in August. Congratulations. Married 26 years. I guess blindfolds are not a thing. Just figure it out like Braille, like an elevator. Oh my God. Blind guys go for the deaf gals. Oh, Jesus. You been married since 91, Robert Jones? Hell yeah. I know. I got last 2 super chats and then I'll be done. Also, I've been inside track on the state of the B-52J program. My brother's been working on the U.S. Air Force since 2006. Only 8 of those were Air Force enlisted. Ooh, 11 Bravo Crunchy. That tells me you worked in an armor unit if you referred to yourself as a Crunchy. Tankers refer to 11 series as Crunchies because they make a nice crunch splat when they go underneath the tracks. People in general do. It's hard to hear them screaming over the gas turbine engine, but, same thing. I dropped out of mech engineering because I wanted to work with machines, not end up a manager. We had a consultant costing $5,000 a day while I was on my night shift, and I had 4 hours left on my night shift. Ugh. Whew. Fuck that noise. But $5,000 a day, that's damn good money. That's at least... At least $5,000 a year. Okay. And that's at least $5,000 a year. Best friend was a 19 kilo. That tracks. Speed dating for the blind is just stop and frisk at Ethan's. People are going to find out. Like someone's going to pinpoint the exact moment that this gummy hit me. I bet running into, I can't read that, man. Running into a lady boy as a blind guy. There's a trip as a blind guy. Holy shit. Thank you for the laughs. Really needed it. Blind guy with the camera, you're good people, man. You're always welcome here. Holy shit. You know what, guys? On that note, we are going to call it. Thank you all so much. We went a little bit over. We went about 11 minutes over, but we had a great time. Thank you all so much for being here. If you'd like to support the channel, you can go to habituallinecrosser.com, maybe get yourself some merch, buy me a beer, whatever you want to do. Please make an overlapping diagram of Pepperbox Podcast and overlapping host. Visualize. Good God, killing me. But again, the cheapest and easiest way to support the channel is just watch my videos. Except for the blind guy. Listen to him. Okay? I love you guys. Watch out for one another. I care about all of you. Don't do the enemy any fucking favors. I'll see you guys next time.